G'day everybody and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. Today on the podcast, it is the teams leading into round 10. If you haven't subscribed to the pod, please do that wherever you listen. Leave us a rating, leave us a review. And the most important step of all is tell your mates. All right, get stuck in. This episode is brought to you by TabTouch. Got the touch? Download the TabTouch app today. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. This is a Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rinn, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniel. Why are you looking at me like this?
I'm just waiting for you to finish. You talk forever.
That's it. I've got to do the intro
I know.
and then the credit, and then I've got to talk.
I'm also always a bit shocked when you get through it without any
that one
mistakes.
was pretty seamless.
You did that pretty well.
Yeah, 'cause I had to remind
I
myself
have a
what round
plan
it
that
was.
we pre-record that.
Why can't we?
And we just insert it because you're right. It just goes forever, Nick.
'Cause-
And he's so proud of himself as he gets through it.
Yeah, and
It's like 20 seconds.
You can tell when you're
Yeah.
15 seconds through, the little grin starts to
Yeah.
go.
I've
and then
actually got it.
Then he flicks over to the ad and away he goes.
Yeah.
We did have to fine-tune the ad. It was the blandest ad I've ever,
Yeah, it was.
There was no inflections the
Oh,
first
that was the
time.
first time.
You've
Yeah,
improved
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
So
we've
maybe we get him to pre-record it and then just get him to count up
One,
from 1 to 24
three.
so that he can insert
And
the
just
round.
insert the number.
That's
Yeah,
probably
okay.
the best way to do
What
it.
about round 0?
Well, we're done
We'll
now.
do that.
anyway.
We'll do
Yeah.
We don't,
couple of things.
acknowledge round 0.
Couple of things off the top. So in the mailbag, someone wrote in and suggested that they didn't like heroes as the name for the listeners.
Yes.
They're like, what about getters?
Getters. Hardball getters.
So we put it to a public vote.
Now, I must say just really quickly, we accuse
Oh, my
Ryan
God.
of stealing stuff. I feel like this is right up, what's the show called? Bloody...
Fireball.
Fireball.
The Ballers.
You've just plucked that.
Well, that is
that's
where it came
because
from.
Yeah, I know.
they
Yeah,
said
yeah.
they
Yeah,
sold
it was written
ballers.
So we can't be pointing fingers.
No,
Actually, I
well-
did hear Kingy this morning say we steal everything.
So it's
we
4,000
openly steal everything.
Yeah,
so cop it.
It's 4,000 to 1 now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
No.
we got one back. We're stealing back. So
No, we're not. They're bloody good.
They are
They
pretty
are
good.
good.
Oh, they are very enjoyable. That's probably
Yeah.
They're outside of Hardball Gets. That'd be.
I still don't know
my
what
go-to.
I still don't know what their segments are. Like I'll be in the car driving to work or in the shower at work, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's time for something or other." I'll be like, "What the is this?" And then once they get into it, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." Why I
yeah,
thought that.
yeah, sure.
So we put it out to a vote: heroes versus getters, and it was overwhelming. Can we get a drum roll? Getters. Getters is a champion by what 3 to 1.
Wow.
There you go.
77% of the vote went to getters. They're the getters.
So our listeners are now getters.
They're the getters, and it makes sense. Hardball Gets.
Yeah.
Get stuck in.
Yeah.
They're the getters.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, fine. Okay.
Welcome.
No, that's good. Okay, so now we're previewing the games.
Yes.
Can we get on to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. I haven't spoken all week. I've had
No.
Yeah. What's going on?
I lost my voice this morning on a rant about opening round and the overlapping Friday games. I started getting. I've got the man flu coming on, and I felt like that was just the enemy this
Oh,
morning.
you two have got to stop kissing.
Mate, it's
obviously.
bad. It's really
We
bad.
don't usually kiss. It's strictly business.
That's
No kissing. That's
exactly.
extra.
That's not on the menu.
And what's going on with your hair? Why are you wearing a hat today?
I'm in bed for 4 days, so
Okay.
I haven't left the house. I haven't spoken to anyone. I've been a full-blown hermit, so I
was gonna-
dragged my ass out of bed at 6 a.m. this morning to go and do radio with him. So I thought, nah, I'm just...
I rang him yesterday because I hadn't heard from him for a few days. I thought this is so abnormal. He hasn't broken a story for 3 days. Is he still alive? I mean, my Twitter feed was empty.
Oh, I dipped my toe back into the Jackson stuff
Oh, yeah,
again.
yeah. Jackson was
While
bubbling
being sick,
around.
I still managed to send out some texts.
What about the question to Jackson at the airport?
Oh, how bad.
Credit getting Jackson. It's round 10,
Yep.
so he's not going to say anything different.
No.
He's going to say zero different to what the company line is.
Yep.
I mean, is Oscar Allen leaving West Coast?
And then you add in the fact that he's walking right next to the senior coach.
Then you add that he's 30 cent. You reckon you and I have been kissing? They were even closer than you and I sitting next to each other.
It was it's always a fascinating one, the old doorstop, because 9 times out of 10, no, 99 times out of 100, you don't get anything out of it.
No.
It's the
vision.
theatre of the pictures.
Of course, yeah.
And the other stations go, damn it, they got it.
No, I looked at that. It was 9.
9 got it.
Oh, no, I must have. I looked at it and was like, straight away, I was like, oh, which news agency, which
Yeah.
news outlets is?
A little bit of background on that one.
All
What
right.
happened?
Well,
Go
I
on.
don't know
Nah.
if you'd call it sneaky.
Okay.
Go.
So the way it works on, and I wasn't working yesterday, but I got this from feedback.
Yeah.
The way it works at the airport is typically the clubs don't mind us turning up and shooting the players leaving. The proviso that we're not in their face.
At the escalators
Yeah.
when they go
At the
up.
escalators, get a shot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Sean Darcy's on the plane or he's not, whatever.
Yeah.
There's your story. Simo hated it. Simo
Because
hated it.
for those that aren't in Perth, the desk's literally there where you drop your bags, and then
Yeah.
your escalator is 15 metres away,
Yeah.
you go straight up and you're off.
And there's an advantage because the teams aren't named for another 3 or 4 hours.
Correct.
But you know who's on the plane, so you can narrow it down a little bit. Simo used to hate it. He used to every single time be like, "Oh, you guys, what are you doing this for?" Because he hated that the info would get out to the opposition teams 3 hours earlier. Anyway,
and I do love that clubs feel as though that little bit of information they're going to dive straight back into the war room and make wholesale changes.
wait, Bailey Banfield's on the plane.
Shit.
Hold on a minute. Throw out plan A, B, and C.
We're going to have to sit Lockie Whitfield this week. He's going to run off him too much.
So the other thing that happens in media, because we have short on resources now, happens more and more often, is a pool arrangement.
Yeah, which that surprised me. We've spoken about this.
So pool arrangement is, let's say yesterday there might have been 3 things that were on, like an Eagle sting, a Docker sting, and let's say West Coast Fever or whatever. And so the 3 TV stations, 9, 10 and 7, sometimes ABC will get involved if they're feeling frisky. But those 3 will go, okay, well, we can't all be at the same place. We don't have that many cameras.
Yes, of course.
We can't all be everywhere.
Back in the old days?
Maybe in the old days you do it a little bit more. So 9 would go to one thing, 7 would go to one thing, 10 would go to the other, and we'd all share it. You get this vision,
So where's the mic sit if you're sharing it? Is it just an unwritten agreement that you just keep your mic
on? Yeah, keep your mic on. Yeah.
But keep if it's going to be shared.
sleeve.
It's fine.
The sleeve. Okay.
It's
sock.
Sock.
There's been some conversations over the years where people think about that stuff and go, hold on, and then the sock gets removed or whatever. But most of the time it's fine to just stay. Now, so yesterday there was a pool arrangement. So I think 10 were doing the airport.
Yes, they went
stuff.
out after I did my little bit. Yes.
We were doing the footy commission did something.
Right.
And 9 were doing, I think, Eagles training or something like that. But 9 also had a second camera.
Doing their own thing.
They've gone to the airport specifically just for Jackson.
Right.
And got him in the car park.
They're not breaching anything.
So if 10 are sitting out there doing the right thing.
Well, 10 are doing the righty inside, just playing the game because they're sharing between all 3 stations.
Correct.
9's got sneaky camera number 2 out the back.
Jeez.
Now, you can look at it 2 ways. One, well played, clever. You got the exclusive.
Which is not the way you look at it. So then what's the other way?
No, I look at it both ways because if it were us, I'd be like, hey, you know what? Sucks to be you. We got it. But the other side is, well, we were in an arrangement like everybody's supposed to be playing by the rules
I
here.
think that's the side, Nick, that Ryan sees it. I think that's the side.
No, because I've been on the other side too where we have maybe done something along the similar lines. Okay. It's just the games that are played behind the scenes. So, no, it was, good on them.
All right.
Good on them.
There we go. All right, well, let's do teams.
Okay, last night, do you want to go through last night's game? Great game of footy.
Great game of footy. Ben Long is almost all-Australian small forward at the moment.
I was thinking that last night.
Put that out there on in the hemisphere.
I don't think you're miles off there. Yep.
And what else? That's that little bit of Hawthorn, and I think Sam Mitchell said it well last night post-game. Everyone saw our improvement last year because we're coming from a low base. Yeah. Now we're a good team. We're not a great team.
So you were at about 73% on Monday.
Yeah.
Where are you now?
No, 73.
Staying.
I tipped Gold Coast. I thought Gold Coast was good.
It was a reasonable performance.
Yeah. No, well, it was a good performance. They jumped at the start.
Yes, they were that. I tuned in early and I was like, I'm not sure. I'll watch the second half. Put the kids to bed, then put it on.
The only bit that I'm just not sure about is, so the last couple of weeks, Petrarca's got away from Hawthorn, and so has Noah Anderson in the first half last night. 21 disposals, 9 clearances in the first half. Goal. Unbelievable. Then they tag with Finn, but Finn comes off the half-forward line, so they try and get more congestion around the stoppages around the ground, but it means they're obviously one short in the forward line.
At the bounce.
There's bounce, they're 666.
Yeah.
So Finn comes off half-forward, goes into the star, leaves them one short in the forward line where they don't have the big stars as it is. So you saw Collins and whatnot, Mac Andrews last night sort of getting a bit busy. But it still gives that superstar 30 seconds to find a possession.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's my point. That at the bounce, if it's not a hard tag at the bounce, he was running out of it.
Yeah, if it goes forward for Gold Coast, then he's got 60 metres.
And how often did we see that? So he got 2-3 in that one little flick.
Noah Anderson would be sitting there going, thank God I've at least got 15 seconds to get busy.
Yeah.
And then Finned him.
Well, and he'd even know it.
So if you're going to play...
He'd lock in for that.
Yeah.
Okay, how long does it take him?
There'd be a reason why Mitch is far, far smarter than us. But I just think that the star would lick their lips for that 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it's not going to be every week they make the most of every opportunity like Noah did.
Sydney and Carlton. Okay, the Swannies' favourites tonight. $1.58. Carlton, $2.40. SCG, my mate, who's a Carlton supporter in Sydney, says it is raining.
I think it's clearing by about 5:30, so there might be enough time for it to dry.
Right, okay. Joel Amati, Peter Laddams in for the Swannies. So they've gone tall, the forwards. Hayden McLean dropped, Ben Patton. For Carlton, no DeConing, which is a big one. Pitternet comes in. Jordan Boyd, Matt Carroll, Akers and Cowan out as well.
So someone abused me on social media this week when I said Hayden McLean wouldn't get a game at Collingwood. Well, he can't even get a game at Sydney. So there's that on the bloody. Just want to get that off the chest real quick.
Just get that one out.
Look, Sydney, this is almost season defining for them. We spoke about them last week pretty clearly that they've won 3 games, the Swans. They've got zero depth. Yes, they've got injuries to Papley. Mills is back in the twos.
VFL, yes.
Of course, Goulden's the
Errol's
stars
about
not
a month
there.
away, yep.
Amati's returning and whatnot. So they do have the injuries, but they don't have a great deal of depth. But I reckon they've got Carlton at a good time.
Yep.
I reckon Akers is a good wingman. Tom DeConing's obviously a ruckman with a lot of talk about him at the moment. This screams SCG Friday night. It'll be slippery. It just screams Sydney.
It does.
It screams a good game, but I just reckon Sydney from what you feel as though they're going to get 3 goals in front. And that might be it for the night. You know, just that arm's length football. But again, they wouldn't want to lose. I reckon you can put a pin in them if they lose this.
I think in the old days, and I say like last year, there's no way you'd tip against Sydney here.
No, especially when Carlton's involved.
Different proposition this year. What do you give me for how many goals from Joel Amati?
Joel Amati, 2.
2, I was going to say 2.
2 goals, I reckon, Joel
It's
Amati.
wet though, so.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it probably suits him better for some reason.
Just because.
No logic, because I reckon.
That's a Nick comment. The 6'6" bloke would be better suited with a wet
I don't know.
football.
Yeah, but he's not a great 6'6".
Based on the success of
so the rain's clearing at about 3 o'clock.
Is it? Right. Based on the success of the St Kilda video that Josh pulled out with Nick trying to guess 15 St Kilda players, I've decided
Nick
that
actually cut that.
Did you cut that?
I edited that, yeah.
That's actually very good cutting.
Thank you, mate.
I have noticed that more and more of Nick's gear is getting uploaded.
Yeah. Have you got access to
he does. 100% he does.
No, that one I did.
No, that one's good.
I like that.
The actually, you need to do your maths.
Oh, yeah.
That was we were like, Nick, how'd you? I wasn't listening to what he said.
Wrong.
Yeah.
But it was one of the greatest slaughter jobs of all time.
Yeah, I was trying to track that too.
No, I wasn't listening, and I wouldn't have got it, but I would have known the number. Whatever number you said was wildly wrong.
Yeah.
And it turns out it was wildly wrong. And you sat there and claimed it and said, I did a math science degree, actually.
Yeah, I know. I said I did 6 months and then I dropped out.
Mate, that was, you pulled the wool over mine and Ryan's eyes.
That's it. Sometimes it just takes confidence in delivery.
Oh, I've done it all my life.
You don't actually need to know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So from now on to the end of the season, I am going to do that to you with a team that I will not tell you which
the
team.
15 players?
Yep.
I'll be all over
And
it.
by the end of the year,
I
want you to go from 1 to 40 St Kilda.
Yeah.
And our last
And
podcast.
Tom Campbell's definitely not there.
Tom Campbell's gone.
Okay.
And so's Long. He kicked 4 last night or whatever he kicked.
Yeah, see, very good player.
Just quickly, who are we going?
No, Sydney.
Sydney. Joel Amati's, I think, $1.76 to score at least 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Collingwood and the Adelaide Crows, who are Kuwarna this weekend. Collingwood $1.50, Kuwarna $2.60.
Oh, well done on Josh having the names there.
MCG Saturday. Braden Maynard, Brody Marchek and Scott Pendlebury come in. Darcy Moore's out though and Lockie Schultz. Adelaide, we like this. The no changes.
No changes, Adelaide.
We love the no changes.
Just quickly, Maynard's going to captain the side.
Yes, saw that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wonder if he captains North Melbourne next year.
Well, the money's good enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Why is he going to North Melbourne?
Money.
Why North Melbourne wanting him?
He's a good player.
I know, but I just don't know.
That's the type of player North need, a bit of shit about him.
Someone tough.
When North Melbourne haven't won a first quarter this year, there's someone to stop the rot.
Yeah.
Examples.
Oh, you sold me.
Can Adelaide win this game? $2.60 outside.
Yes.
They're outsiders, yes. Yes, they won last week, Collingwood over Fremantle. The 34 inside 50s is a concern, but the way they scored just makes you think if they have 50 inside 50s, then it's game over.
True.
So, no, I think...
look at that either way.
Yeah, they did it so easily when they had the footy. No, I don't think they can win Adelaide. I'm not convinced by them at the moment. They're still riding that roller coaster. Yes, they're good players, Dawson and Rankin and Thriller.
I think they're a good team.
They're defensive. Yeah, good team.
Yeah.
If they finished 8th to 7th, 8th, I think that's probably fitting. I think Collingwood at home at the MCG are probably going to be far too good. Nick Dacos is one you'd want to watch, I reckon. He was grabbing that hip all night on Thursday night last week.
Hip and pec.
Yeah, and then came off in the pec. We were meant to interview him post-game. We promoted him over and over and over and over.
Then no.
Nick Dacos.
Who'd you get?
Defender.
Must be
Name
good.
15 players.
Must have been real good.
Perth boy. Brother.
no.
Billy Frampton.
Billy Frampton.
Where's his brother play?
No, he doesn't play. I'm thinking him.
Harry Himmelberg.
This is Nick areas.
Yes. No. So
I even know
Collingwood.
the brothers are Elliot Himmelberg. There we go.
Jeez,
Bang.
you've gone from
Yes.
Dacos to Frampton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez,
No,
that's-
and I said on air, I said, watch this. I bet we get stitched up here. And we're looking through the cameras and we can see Darcy Moore's on one. We can see all the stars. And I was like, and in he come. And he good, actually, really good fella.
Well, yeah, and
And
probably-
sometimes you get more out of that.
Well, I was
Way
gonna
more.
say
Well,
more
you get way more out of
Did you
those.
see
More
that
entertaining.
vision from the ABC of them crossing to Ray Chamberlain in the rooms?
No.
They went down and say, "Oh, Corbin was calling. Oh, yeah, Ray's got someone in the rooms. Ray." And then they looked up and on the screen you could see him. He had the cams off completely, just on his phone.
Oh, really?
In the corner.
Jeez.
On your Ray.
Okay, so we all think Collingwood. The GWS Giants hosting Walyalup, the Fremantle Dockers. First game at home at NG Stadium in 40 days.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Darcy Jones and Toby Bedford come in, Stringer and Delana out, Bailey Banfield in for Sean Darcy. So the Dockers have gone smaller, which is
Yes.
probably what they should have done last week.
Yeah.
And the Giants get two absolute guns in. I love Jones and Bedford, what they do for the Giants.
Yeah, which Caleb Sarong or Andy Brayshaw will be sitting there thinking, shit, why does it have to be this week?
Correct.
But they didn't really do much last week tagging and they won a big game in Geelong. So maybe that might make them think a little bit differently about it at times.
Is there any way the Giants don't win?
Yeah, there is, which is why with a 19-point head start, I'll be sitting in that camp with Freo.
Why do you keep doing this? You're doing this every week.
No, I feel like Freo, 19 points. I was a believer, now I'm not, but now the lines are getting out and out and out and out.
Right.
They've got to be within 20 points of...
Are you doing this? Do you do this every
Giant
week?
people
Is
away?
this like a reverse psychology thing he's doing?
You
Like,
say this, you
the
say
jigs-
this.
No, I feel like he's doing this deliberately.
So you can say,
He's
oh,
either bet
did I
on
back them?
Fremantle
Yeah.
or bet on the... Because then he can say, like, oh, no, they should win. I believe that they
I
should
bought a
be
membership a
winning.
few
So then
years
when
ago.
they don't, he's like,
Well,
this is how
I'm not
bad
saying they
were.
win. I'm not saying they're winning. I'm saying that they'll get within 3 goals.
I don't know if they will.
You don't reckon?
The Giants are flying. I really like the
No,
Giants.
they're not.
They've been on the road for-
They've won good
The
games.
Giants aren't flying. They played well last week.
They've been on the road for 40 days. If any other team went and did that, they'd be maybe in the bottom 4. Like, this is a
but do they-
really hard road trip.
How significant
Yeah.
is their home ground advantage? I'll be interested to see that.
Which is not even that.
It's just waking up in your own bed.
Can you just be at home for a
but
week?
they do that for Canberra as well, don't they?
Mate, no.
That's a day
It's
trip.
still a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Canberra's not a day trip.
Canberra's a day trip from Sydney.
What, you reckon they're getting on the bus at
Yeah.
6 a.m. and driving a bus down to...
And then
they'd
cans
stay-
on the
They're
bus on the
staying
way
there.
home.
And you got to
course.
remember, they'd have to do some sort of clinic.
What are you
or something
talking about?
too.
Sure.
Of course
yeah,
they're flying down the day before.
Not the Emos.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
no, you get the cans in
It's
the
not
bus on the
country
way
week
back
or something.
to after the game.
So you think for our
with-
within a chance?
Within a chance. I reckon those odds are pretty close. I mean, they play 4 times. I reckon Fremantle win 1.
Yeah, okay.
3 to of course, the Giants there.
All right. Port Adelaide, Yartapuulti, $2.20 versus Geelong, $1.67. That's at Adelaide Oval. Willie Rioli back.
Kane Farrell dropped.
out. No, he's out injured.
Out.
Having knee
Injured.
surgery.
Yeah.
Should have been dropped.
Which is a big out.
Geelong, Jack Henry and Lawson Humphreys back. Closey and Clark out. So they get a bit stronger, Geelong. Still no Tom Stewart, which we like.
Yes, well, they do get a lot stronger, but Jack Henry and, of course, Lawson Humphreys, that just adds stability.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they've kept saying the whole time is we are not – we've still got good players playing, but we haven't got the cohesion and the players that glue it all together back there. So
Henry's important.
very important.
Yeah.
I mean, we like Lawson Humphreys.
Extremely important.
But Henry, what he does for them.
But Lawson Humphreys took over a bit from Tom Stewart earlier
Yeah.
this year. He
Yeah.
started playing that role. I think that Geelong, they're 2 really good ins. Joe Clark's been a bit of a confusing young draft
Yeah, I
pick so
would've thought he
far.
had-
Hasn't
thought he'd done
really
better.
burst out, but then when he has and then started sub and
It just made sense. Geelong boy, tough nut, inside mid, pick 7. You thought, like, this kid's going to be a gun within 12 months, but he just hasn't really come
he's
on.
finding his feet and
He's been brought along so slowly.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes that's fine. But other times it's they just sort of just become
But tweener.
second rater.
Yeah, they've
don't
got
they?
tweener.
Like they just become a guy who's in and out. And
the last time these 2 teams played at Adelaide Oval, it was a 84-point victory.
Geelong
to
play the
Geelong.
Oval well, don't they? Is it them who play Adelaide Oval really
Geelong.
well?
They started opening round Gather round this
Yeah.
year. Geelong, they beat the Bullies there at Gather round last year.
I think they do like Adelaide Oval.
Well, I can't see. Look, we're off. I think we're all off Port Adelaide, aren't we?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be
Yeah,
tipping
but then they
Geelong.
come out and do at home. They
Oh, they're
can't
capable.
teams.
No, they're.
I tip Geelong, but
I'm interested. The player I'm really interested in is Bergman and how he's going to go this week playing in the midfield. I think they've found one there that allows Connor Rosie to play defence without even thinking of shifting him into the midfield. I am somewhat convinced that that's going to be a really, really good move. And do I think it's going to be a good move for Port Adelaide going forward? No, because I think it adds more money on his head, and I think more teams are going to be interested in him. But he did a really good job last week, and I think he'll do a fantastic job this week.
Okay, the Western Bulldogs, $1.26 against Essendon, $3.85. This is the quintessential Marvel Stadium Saturday night game, isn't it?
Dogs, Essendon.
I'm looking forward to it.
These are the two teams that opened the stadium, isn't it?
Oh, probably.
No, Port Adelaide, Essendon.
Was it? I thought it was Dogs Essendon.
I know Dogs beat Essendon in that. You might be thinking of the Chris Grant goal when they
Maybe
beat
I'm thinking
Essendon
of
in that undefeated
iconic
season.
game, yeah. Taylor Duray, Arthur Jones, Harvey Gallagher, Caleb Poulter, Laverty back for Lewis Hayes, so nothing alarming in the changes. Dogs, heavy favourites. We're okay
So
with
should
that?
be, yeah.
Week after Darwin, does that have an impact? Heavy
Well, I
weeks?
mean, just, yeah.
Well, it didn't
hot
hurt.
game.
It didn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt the Gold Coast
it didn't hurt
Suns.
the
They're
Gold
different.
Coast.
They don't count.
Essendon v Port Adelaide in 2000.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, the Dogs. Taylor Duray back, which is nice. He's a good fella, Tay. But when they keep losing these players, Essendon, they keep bringing in like Laverty, for example. They've got a lot of those players that come in, the B minuses.
Yep.
I give Essendon a chance. I thought they were pretty good against Sydney last week. You got to tip your hat.
385 feels high.
I think the Bulldogs,
Does
Bulldogs are
feel
just
high.
flying.
What's the line on that?
Well, the line is, and I'm a line player these days. The line is, I've got the line. I've already got the button pressed in. 24.5. I can't see the Doggies beating them by 5 goals.
No, I reckon they can get within that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that hurts you to say that, doesn't it?
Well, no, because the thing about Essendon, it's not that I think they'll lose every game. I think they're just stuck in the middle. So it's very Essendon to win this game.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
You know?
Zach Merritt, $2.14 to have 30 disposals. Bulldogs don't tag.
Dogs are going too well.
Bulldogs don't go near it. Zach Merritt will run around. And again, if you're 6'4", we'd call him Marcus Bonampelli 2.0. He's not. He's a superstar. He'll have 30 disposals. And they'll get within 25 points.
Okay, very strong. I like that. Okay, North Melbourne are $1.55. Richmond are $2.45. Two teams, just genuine contenders here.
Never again, North.
I look at this on paper and I think Richmond will win.
I look at this paper and think North win by over 5 goals.
Jaden Short's back for
reckon?
the Tigers, which is probably the biggest one.
Yeah, but he
there.
hasn't. Jaden Short hasn't.
He's been okay.
He's average.
Yeah, he's
for a best and fairest winner in a premiership season, he's been just reasonably average.
Just fine. Yeah.
Yep.
So North relatively heavy favourites.
Yeah,
Well, I think they
heavy,
should
I
be.
think.
Man, they just tied with the Premiers last week.
True.
They should have won that
Yeah,
game.
but that was Hobart.
I feel like this is a 50-50 game to me. And that's
Anyway, I'll give you 2-1 cartons.
Ooh.
I'll give anyone that wants 2-1 cartons, I'll have it.
All right, I'll take,
I'm not going to do it, but you
I'll
do
take
it.
that.
2-1 cartons. So,
So what? So
Anyone else who wants
Richmond
to
win, I
text
get
you?
2, North win, you get 1.
yep.
Do you want anyone else who messages in?
First couple, if they want to get
All right,
involved.
first 3 to private message Zave
Yeah.
for 2-1 if you think Richmond can beat North.
Yep.
All right, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I know, Greg. I'm happy to
You've
get
got to
involved in
deliver
this.
on the cartons, not you. Them.
Yeah, them. Yeah, I'm the
talking
alley bastard.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
does.
Don't delete your account afterwards.
Or because I don't find them again. Like they go missing into my algorithm or whatever.
Funny that.
And then they pop up a year later when they've won one back. Go, hey, mate, you owe me a carton. And I go up and go, hang on, mate, I'm 6 up on you. You still haven't paid.
Jeez, my voice is struggling.
Yeah,
with
no,
it.
you are. Do you want me to take over?
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, I'll go
Yeah,
over
roll
here.
through.
So, all right, let's go to the Gabba on Sunday. Brisbane v Narrm. Of course, Melbourne. $5.20 Melbourne v the $1.16 Lions. A couple of ins. Devon Robertson, Caden
Coleman.
Coleman returns. That's a
Ooh.
big in. And for Melbourne, there's an absolute stack that have been taken out. Van Rooyen, Tholstrup, and Matty Jefferson.
I like to call this Melbourne ins and outs the usual suspects.
Yeah.
The usuals. Look, Melbourne are a bottom 4 side in my mind. I don't think Brisbane are going that well, but I think Brisbane actually make pretty light work of this Melbourne side. I can't see too many positives in Melbourne at the moment. And I think it's going to be a bit of if Brisbane had a better forward line, it'd be an absolute slaughter job. I just worry where their goals are going to stack up from, but Brisbane will get that done
No, they'll
quite
get that
comfortably at $1.16.
Very comfortably.
What's the line there?
The line in the tell me you're not interested in. Oh, maybe you're
I think
interested
I
the other
am.
way. In what?
As into Brisbane to go.
Oh,
over
to go
this.
over. Yeah, that's a good point. I was going to say you can't be cashing bloody lines on that one. The line there, mate, is 31.5 points.
I like that.
You like that?
Yep. I just think Brisbane are just almost ready to hit that switch.
Yeah, I think Melbourne are ready to roll over and get absolutely
Yep.
pounded by a team
due.
at some stage. Max Gorn's been, Max Gorn and Petrarca have been really good.
Yep.
The rest of
Bowie's
them are
been
okay.
great. He'll win that best and fair. Max will probably actually win it now when he's coming home. But I can see this. I could see the shackles falling off Melbourne. To be honest, I can't see much to really write home about there. Maybe the weather being wet might help. All right, let's wrap the. I'm going to get you to do the teams because I don't want to butcher.
Waalitj, Marawar. That's the West
that's
Coast
West
Eagles.
Coast.
And Euro-Yroke is St Kilda. I think I went that pretty well. You got to roll it. You gotta really roll it.
You did that really well, mate. So thank you for
Yep.
that. I didn't want to disrespect that.
$1.35 the Saints at $3.20 the West Coast Eagles. Optus Stadium, Sunday afternoon. Oscar Allen back. Bo Allen, Clay Hall, Jack Williams, Archer Reid rested. For the Saints, nothing alarming. Mason Wood back could help them. Dougal Howard out.
Mason Wood was best on ground over here last year when they came into town. I think he
was.
3 from a wing.
He has those games probably twice a year, Mason.
Yeah,
Wood.
and we sent down Tom Atkinson. I think he was working the boundary that day to do the interview. And he said, is it good for players who aren't stars or good like you to step up?
Jesus,
I think it
Tommy.
was something like that. And he took it like, what do you mean? But the point was when Jack Steele and those guys were having a quiet game.
I know what Tommy
The
means.
B graders.
That's a bit of a dig.
You don't need that after a win. I can't remember what it was, but it was something along those
Poor
lines.
Mason's feeling pretty good about himself.
Mate, Mason Wood
we
has
all thought you were shit, but you're actually not bad, eh?
Kicked 3 and had 20 or something, like a good day.
Yeah.
Big day.
Davy's life.
Harvey Langford, like some would say. West Coast, this is one of the couple of games that are a chance of winning. We won't go back to Nick's maths. But to be honest with you, I think the 18.5 point head
I
start,
think
the more I
there's
think
a
about
25%
it.
chance of winning a winnable game. Is where we landed, but that's
which
wrong.
is so wrong.
No, I think I just phrased it wrong at the start. I think.
No, you were way off.
Yeah, way off. I think it's about
Let me get it.
80% was what the math actually
What?
did.
Any chance they get within that 18?
No, I did think that it was a chance that West Coast could win, but the more I think about it, the way Ross coaches, the
They're not gonna
mature
score.
bodies, they can't score. I can see St Kilda getting to 85 or something, and West Coast being stuck at 40. That's what.
That's exactly.
There's not going to be many people watching this.
Oh, Jaden Short's out.
We'll be there. Oh, you won't be. What?
Jaden Short's out, replaced in the 26 by Caleb Smith.
Oh, that kills my fantasy.
Yeah,
Same.
prick.
Because I bought in Anderson last night.
Ooh.
Oh,
We've all
no.
got to go back to the drawing board.
But are you able to? Or is it locked now because of Anderson?
Well, Anderson has to stay in.
Yeah, but can you then do...
I've used my trades.
Yeah.
Well, I've
Guys,
used,
these are personal problems. Can we
Anyway,
wrap this up? Yeah.
yes, correct. Nick, mid-sentence, has just sworn through
Yeah.
the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, just quickly, our multis. We're not going to go through them individually.
Yes.
It's because it's just going to take way too long. But it is a
16
fruity.
leggers.
Fruity.
We'll put them up on our socials, and they'll be on the Tab Touch app underneath the
16
trending
leggers.
for that game. So get on the Tab Touch app. You'll find them there. It's time, of course, for the hard ball bets. Play the same game multi with Tab Touch. Boost your odds and combine up to 16 legs
Amazing.
within a single game into one bet, which is what we have done. We have gone fruity.
So maybe just say what they're paying.
I've gone the Giants Dockers game.
Yeah, good.
And,
Go the
and
games.
mine goes to $56.
Yep.
Which I thought was alarmingly high until I saw Nick's number.
Yeah, Nick.
Nick,
I don't know how. I just kept tapping. I've struggled to get 16 legs. So
Yeah.
I'm Geelong Port Adelaide game
at what?
at Adelaide Oval.
No, odds.
Oh, at
Christ.
$126.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
And I've gone Essendon
I need
Bulldogs under the roof. And I'm actually going to have a slice of this myself. So I will be in. And, of course, don't forget I will be taking that 2-1 interest if anyone wants a Carlton on Richmond v North Melbourne. You got the touch. Download the Tab Touch app today. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.